In the office, at the gym, on your wife's hand, on your wife's boyfriend's hand. You've definitely seen one. You may even be wearing one right now. That's right, the Oura Ring, the wearable health tracker your most annoying coworker won't shut up about. Over the past few years, this little device has been everywhere. Athletes, celebrities, your bus driver. This $350 ring may have had humble beginnings, but with a clever marketing strategy and a little bit of luck, they've started to take over the crowded world of wearable tech, even while many other wearables sell less and less. So what's driving its success? I think the only way to find out is to try one.
Okay, so I'm at Best Buy and they have this sizing kit here. Looks like I might be a 10?
I said yes.
They are out of my size completely. Time to order online.
Let's take things back to 2015. I was a sophomore in college, getting a film degree that I now use to make YouTube videos as a second job. At the time, Apple was dominating the relatively nascent wearables market with the Apple Watch, having quickly jumped into second place behind Fitbit after launching earlier that year. Wearable devices were the hot new product category, with everyone wanting a piece of the action, trying to build a phone extension or put another screen on your wrist, or your face, or your dog's collar. Across the pond, a small Finnish company that was about to launch a Kickstarter campaign for their first product, the Oura Ring, and it was taking a different approach. Rather than a do-it-all phone companion, their ring was pitched as a lightweight health tracker that you could forget about, choosing instead to focus on sleep and readiness, the same key metrics that are still front and center in the Oura app today. The Kickstarter was successful, allowing the company to launch the first generation ring, but with their limited funding running dry, they needed more runway to keep up with the demand. And with the help of hedge fund manager Harpreet Singh Rai, who then went on to serve as Oura's CEO until 2022, the company secured $20 million from an all-star group of investors ranging from athletes, celebrities, and the scholars of our time, YouTubers. The first and second gen rings only really thrived within tech circles, with enthusiasts and investors like conveniently named computer baron Michael Dell and man of many beard lengths Jack Dorsey evangelizing the device. That is until 2020. The COVID pandemic, you may have heard of her, led to an explosion in the wearables market as people started becoming more and more conscious of their health, and that included the Oura Ring. But what really set Oura off at the time was actually the NBA. After a nearly 3-month hiatus costing them hundreds of millions of dollars, the league quarantined every team into an undoubtedly smelly complex in Florida where they would live and continue to play their scheduled basketball games. The NBA discovered that Oura Rings could predict a potential COVID infection up to 3 days before a test. And on that information, they bought 2,000 second-generation Oura Rings for players and staff to help restart the basketball season with their brand new cardboard cutout fan base. This was a huge partnership, and the press it brought helped Oura secure another $100 million in funding and allowed it to launch its third-generation product. And while we don't have exact sales numbers for the most recent ring models, it's a private company after all, since 2015, they've sold rings to almost 3 million users, me being one of them. But none of that would have happened unless the ring was actually good. Right? So I've been using the Oura Ring for a few days now, and I am starting to get used to it. It's definitely a little thicker than other rings I've worn. I haven't had to charge it a single time since I got it, which is so different from every other device that I own. There is one thing though that I've started to become obsessed with.
My score.
My sleep score.
My readiness score.
My score.
Ask any Oura Ring user, and there's one thing they won't shut up about: their scores. And this is what I think is the Oura Ring's killer feature. Every morning, the Oura app gives you 2 scores: a sleep score, which tells you how restful your sleep was, and a readiness score, which tells you whether your body is prepared to take on the day, a feeling I'd love to experience. By focusing on the scores every day, Oura has created a personal competition to beat your score from the day before, and a competition with others to beat theirs. And it's in no small part thanks to this little button right here. Search Oura Score on any social platform and you'll see slews of posts that look like this. Okay, maybe with better scores than mine. By allowing people to easily share their metrics, Oura built a way for their users to brag about how well they slept or ask for advice on getting better rest. People started bragging about their scores on Instagram and Twitter, and every time they shared, it was a user-generated micro ad for Oura. By simplifying dozens of health metrics into scores between 1 and 100, Oura allowed people to treat their health like a video game, with a high score having a literal positive impact on their lives. Every day this week, I have gotten a better sleep score than the night before. It's still bad, but I am improving. today was a 67. They weren't the first to gamify exercise. That's been an industry of its own for years. Wii Fit was the second best-selling game for the Wii after only Wii Sports, a game that shipped for free with the console. Peloton managed to take the spin class out of the gym, allowing you to view a leaderboard of yourself versus everyone else in your virtual workout class, and thirst over your spin instructor from the comfort of your own home. Perhaps spiritually closest to the Oura experience, though, is Strava, the app people use to draw beautiful works of art with their workouts. At the end of each workout, Strava lets users share a photo with their workout info baked in as a watermark. Also baked in, the Strava logo. Seeing that logo on an Instagram post could drive new users to the Strava app. Those users would then share their workouts and the cycle would repeat. With this flywheel effect, Strava has grown to 125 million users and a $1.5 billion valuation. It's like a huge MMO. Just not the kind I'm used to playing. Back in March, Oura and Strava announced a partnership to share data between the two services, giving Oura another avenue to promote the device and letting users track and share their activity on a whole new level.
I have started to become obsessed with my score in ways that I have tried to optimize it. I'm going to bed earlier. I had fewer drinks at my trivia night. I'm starting to focus on my health in a way that I never really have before because I just want to see that number go up. To hold myself accountable, I have considered posting those scores on social media so that, people can shame me into sleeping better, but I'm not quite there yet.
Oura clearly took a few pages out of the Strava playbook with their shareable scores. And with the launch of the Oura Ring 3, they followed in another of Strava's footsteps by introducing a premium subscription, which locked previously free features behind a paywall. Now, non-paying Oura Ring users only have access to their scores and none of the underlying data that those scores are calculated from. So if I were to not renew my subscription, I'd lose access to all of this. So if you stop paying, this thing becomes little more than an expensive piece of jewelry. And it is really expensive.
I ordered the gold version, which for no discernible reason costs $150 more than the silver one, and it's not real gold.
The subscription change was met with a lot of backlash from the Oura community. Though existing users were grandfathered into a free plan, those who wanted to get into the Oura ecosystem were now faced with a recurring cost on top of the $300 baseline for the device itself. Contrast that to Whoop, one of Oura's closest competitors, who actually gives away their device for free. Instead, they charge a roughly $200 a year subscription, and the device comes with free upgrades. To be fair to Oura, unlike many wearables, both the Ring and subscription can be paid for through an HSA, which we all know is fake money. Despite the backlash, Oura's strategy is clearly working. Over the past 5 years, while interest in wearables in general has steadily declined, even for behemoths like the Apple Watch, interest in the Oura Ring has done nothing but rise. And their revenue has jumped from $30 million 5 years ago to a projected $500 million in 2024. But there's more trouble on the horizon for Oura. This year at CES, there were a lot of smart rings on display. Enough for The Verge to declare that this might be the year of the smart ring. Recently, a big player, Samsung, entered the fray with their announcement of the Galaxy Ring, and they came into the fight armed. Before the device was even launched, Samsung filed a lawsuit against Oura, stating that Oura's declared strategy of asserting infringement against all entrants into the smart ring market presents an actual imminent risk to Samsung and the sale of its Galaxy Ring product.
I have been wearing the Oura Ring for about a month now, and it's sort of just started to become a part of my daily life. I share my score back and forth with a coworker every day like we're doing the Wordle, and I really like that aspect of it. But there are certain things about it, some of which might just be inherent to the category, that I still am having trouble coming to grips with. First off, as someone who wears a smartwatch every day, the step estimates on the Oura Ring are wildly off. This thing will tell me I've gotten 10,000 steps, and my Oura Ring will say anywhere between 17 and 20,000. I've read that some of the competitors, mainly Ultrahuman, have introduced more advanced gyroscopes into their rings, so I'd be interested to see how that improves fitness tracking on their device.
One thing I kept noticing in making this video is that the company isn't called Oura Ring, it's called Oura Health. Now that they have the health data of millions of users, I'd be surprised if they don't expand their business into other areas. Recently, Oura announced a partnership with Dexcom, a company focused on diabetes diagnostics, so it's clear they're working on expanding the monitoring capabilities that have always given Oura its edge. I genuinely have enjoyed my time with Oura. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep it though. I still haven't fully gotten used to wearing the ring. Maybe, like my mom says, the gaps between my fingers are abnormally small, but I do find it a bit uncomfortable. However, if I do decide to return it, I will genuinely miss the scores. Turning my sleep and health into a game really did activate my little dopamine receptors, and it's made me want to be healthier just to see that score tick up. If Oura or someone else can figure out how to take that, improve on my gripes, and maybe not charge me for something I already own, they'll have a new customer.